House of the Dragon, episode 7. Wow. I said last week that I hoped the show would sort of step up again and push on after last week's episode was a bit of a reset. It certainly did that this week. This was a great episode and one of the best we've had in the series so far. For starters, we had Lena's funeral. Everyone is emotional. Alison still hates Ranera, and Ranera is thinking about Daemon. Plus, all the children are emotional and or angry. And speaking of the children, Aemond decides to go and claim Vhagar, which is a huge power play from him because Vhagar is the biggest dragon and big dragons win. It's as simple as that. The bigger dragon will kill the smaller dragon. So inevitably, when dragons start fighting each other, it's a big plus to have Vhagar on your side. And this in turn, of course, enrages Ranera and Daemon's children. They are not happy about this. And we had a scene that was very tense. It had my heart racing, honestly, when the children are beefing. You're thinking, this isn't going to end pleasantly because we're in the Game of Thrones universe. You know, it doesn't matter that it's children. Something fucked up's going to happen here. And something fucked up does happen here as Aemond loses his eye. It doesn't let up from this point. Ranera and Daemon have just done the deed. Now everyone is in the main room at Driftmark where another brilliantly tense scene unfolds. Viserys still refuses to believe the bastard son narrative. You know, he's the only one that refuses to see it. Everyone else in the room believes it. You know, they kind of don't speak up, but you can see it in their face that, you know, they know the sons are bastards. And then this, of course, pushes Alison to finally, unleash her rage and show what she's kind of been keeping bottled up, at least, you know, in public, you know, to save face. And it was a long-awaited attack on Ranera by Alison, and this episode really showed the true colours of Alison and her children, something that made Ranera realise her claim and ascension to the throne will not be straightforward at all. This is not going to be plain sailing. This is not going to be smooth. These people are not going to bow to her, you know, if and when Viserys dies. It's going to be chaos. I also want to say I was more convinced by Ranera this episode. I don't know, it's almost like she looked more like the younger Ranera in this episode. I don't know what it was, but it just felt a little bit more like Ranera. It still doesn't quite feel like her, whereas Alison does feel like the Alison we had before. You know, it's still kind of a transition thing, it feels like, but that's not to take away from this older Ranera portrayal. It's very, very good, and it's going to grow on me soon enough, that's for sure. And maybe even growing on me isn't the right word. It's just I still kind of see two different characters, you know, based on the younger and older versions, but either way, older Ranera is badass. But yeah, speaking of, obviously her ascension, she knows is not going to be a straightforward one, so therefore she sees only one option, which is to wed Daemon and combine forces, a power play on her end, and a very necessary one. I'm really rooting for Ranera. Is anyone actually rooting for Alison out there? Does anyone want Alison to succeed? I don't know. I just want Ranera to win because it's what's due to her. It's what's owed to her. You know, she is the one that has the claim to the throne. The king, you know, the king said so himself. And yes, her sons are bastards, but I still think she should get what's rightfully hers. And I don't like what Alison's plotting, and I don't want her to get near that throne. Of course, her and Daemon can only wed if Laenor is dead, and for a moment here, I did think he was dead, and I had to double take when I saw the dude in the boat. I was like, oh shit, that's Laenor. You know, I had to rewind and be like, holy shit, that is Laenor. He's just shaved his hair and stuff, and then it kind of dawned on me what the plot actually was. And of course it was the fact that they actually got him in on the plot. You know, they all staged it together, where they made it seem like originally that Ranera and Daemon were just going to plot to kill him, but it was very cleverly orchestrated. I like the way they did it. They got him burned, so therefore even his father and mother would think he's dead. You know, it's very, very well done. It would have been cruel to kill Laenor because he's a cool character. I like him a lot, and you know, I hope to see him return. You know, I doubt this will be the end of him. He may come back one day and his parents will be like, oh shit, we thought you were dead, son. But yeah, I imagine Ranera and Daemon's marriage will not go down well with those in King's Landing when they find out. And if and when the king dies, hell will break loose. I didn't think he'd make it to episode 7. I thought he would be dead by now, but he's still going. And maybe he'll even make it to the end of the season. I mean, I don't want him to die because, you know, I really like the portrayal here. But it would be cool if he makes it to the end of the season because things are really heating up now and you just feel like he's the only thing that is just keeping things in the balance. Things are getting real tense, but he is just about keeping things fair, you know, and there's no chaos, but you know, that doesn't feel far away. This was a great episode that started patiently, you know, a little bit slow, not a problem though, and then it just grew into this really tense and thrilling and exciting story, and it was a great episode, one of the best we've had. 9 out of 10. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.